feels empty now. The pain builds up inside. I tried so many times to imagine that you're here. Pretend you're coming back, pretend that you're still near, but it's no use now. You've moved on, but just remember this: you got a piece of my heart. So please remember me, my love. Don't ever wash away those tears we both cried. And as we go our separate ways, I remember you each day. And maybe one day you'll return with my broken heart. Another lonely day, another sleepless night. I wonder what you're feeling and who's now by your side. I wish I could have changed the way the story goes, rewrite my life with you, and whisper one more time, amore mio, ti amo. 'Cause it's not easy to move on while I'm still so lost in you. You've got a piece of my heart, so please remember me, my love. Don't ever wash away those tears we both cried. And as we go our separate ways, I remember you each day. And maybe one day you'll return with my broken heart. This heart of mine belongs to you. You're so deep inside my soul. When two hearts beat as one, don't ever let go. Baby, just remember this: so remember my love. We both cried. And as we go separate ways, I remember each day. One day you return with my heart someday. So please remember me, my love. Never wash away those tears we both cried. So never wash away those tears each day of my life. One day you return, you stay in my life. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright.
And a good afternoon to you all. Hello, everybody. Giada here in Las Vegas, 2 p.m. Of course, 84 days together. Today we have reached 3 months together. 2 months together, 3 months together. March, April, and May, 3 months together. It's incredible how many days we have been spending together, and I see all of you appearing over there. I see some of you actually also new. So hello everybody, where are you watching from? So I am here in Las Vegas, where the sun is shiny as always. Actually, it's very, very hot again in Las Vegas. We have 2 days where the temperature dropped down a little bit. But you know me, I like good weather, so I'm very happy to be in Las Vegas. 5 o'clock for you guys in New York City, and I do hope that you guys are having a good weather over there. For you guys in Italy, buonasera, buonanotte quasi, perché sono le 23 di sera e state quasi per andare a dormire, quindi un saluto a tutta la mia famiglia, la mia mamma e papà che ci guardate da Venezia. 22 at night for you guys in England and Ireland. I see a lot of you already there appearing and say hello. And of course, good morning to all of you Australian friends. I know it's early in the morning, even 5 or 7 in the morning. You've been waking up for 84 days for me, every day, non-stop. Somebody yesterday, actually my guest yesterday, was saying, how long are you going to do this without any day off? I don't know yet, until I keep saying in my brain, as soon as you guys see that I'm going loco, a little bit crazy, then you let me know and I will take a day off. So my guest today is, I know you guys, I already announced it a couple of days ago and you were all excited. The ladies and the gentlemen too. The ladies, of course, because he's very handsome. The gentlemen's because, you know, he's the guy you all would love to be, right? Everybody wants to be the villain on James Bond and dealing with all those beautiful girls. I know, I hear you. In my family in Italy, actually, they were all excited that I was having Robert Davi. They call it, oh, the handsome one. And I should tell later to Robert that he should be happy about it, because the range of age that women that loves him is from 20 years old, my little niece, to 80, the older sister of my mom. So it really covers up all the Italian female zone. And I'm sure all of you girls there, I see also here in Las Vegas, you guys are all excited about it. So we're going to do the events at the birthday of the day, thanks to Doug Hartling, at the end of the interview, because I don't want to make Robert Davi wait, you know, I don't know, maybe he gets mad of us and he hang up on us. No, he will not. You're going to fall in love. He's a very, very nice gentleman. So let me start bragging about him, and then I show you a clip. We all know him from the movie, but hey, let's see. He's an amazing actor, singer, writer, and director. Yes, I said singer, and you will find out more about that today. Of course, on his career, he has acted and performed in more than 130 films. Can you believe that? He must have made like five films a year or something. He has made motion pictures debut in Contract on Cherry Street, when he shared the video with the one and only Frank Sinatra. I know, there is the Pope and Frank Sinatra for us Italian. But he also has worked with Marlon Brando, Clint Eastwood, Arnold Schwarzenegger, funny name for me to say, I know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Benicio del Toro, Bruce Willis, and Roberto Benigni. Easy for me to say, yes, my favorite one, Roberto Benigni. And he has worked with some of the greatest directors like Steven Spielberg, just to mention one. Movies, well, we all know The Goonies, we'll be talking about it, Die Hard, The Showgirls, Sons of the Pink Panther with Benigni, of course, License to Kill. I know you guys love that one. And The Expendables, the younger generation, they love that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I have to say the name again. But it was even in I didn't know this one, I found out yesterday, it was even in a video clip with Bob Dylan. How about it, right? But you found out that even though we know him as an actor, he's an amazing singer, he's an amazing performer. Remember when we had Joe Mantegna, we talked about how acting and singing go pretty well close, but I mean, nobody will expect from Robbie Davi to be such a great singer. So before we introduce Davi, let me play Robert, let me play for you, Robert John, by the way, we'll be talking about, all Italian, we all have two names. Let me play a little clip of him singing. He did an album with the one and only Phil Ramone. Let me play this clip for you.
I've got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow, got that string around my finger. What a world, what a life, I'm in love. I've got a song that I sing, I can make the rain come shine. When you arouse the need in me, My heart says yes, indeed, indeed. Proceed to tell you that you're marvelous. Tell you that you're wonderful again. 'Cause I've got you under my skin. All the
All in Love of what? The CD, of course, that we just played, that the video that we played was from the CD titled Davi Sings Sinatra on the Road to Romance. And ladies and gentlemen, that handsome gentleman with a beautiful voice is here with us today, believe it or not. I'm so excited and happy. Let's see if he's there. Robert! Robert
Hi.
John, buon pomeriggio!
Pomeriggio, ciao bella, come stai?
Io sto bene, tu come stai? How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. I just want to qualify something, that the music was from live performances.
Yes.
That's not from the album, because those were live things, but the album is Davi Sings Sinatra, and there are other clips from on YouTube that with the 60-piece orchestra and some incredible stuff people can watch and look at.
I watched everything yesterday, Robert, and I mean, I knew as an actor, and I knew you could sing, but you blow me away. You are amazing. So I know you guys, you have to go on YouTube and Google just Robert Davi Sings Sinatra, and you will find amazing stuff over there. How are you doing?
I'm good. Beautiful in Southern California. I'm a little, distraught because of the temperature of the nation and
Yes.
the confusion that we're finding. And that's, if you're a feeling human being with any intelligence and any, especially artists, we understand the times and we feel the times, and that's what we then express back to the
Yes.
public. And it's a very difficult time because of the misunderstandings, partly the indoctrination that has been going on. And I feel some things have been really misrepresented in some ways. And that is disturbing to me as an artist and a human being, because we look for the truth. And what we're seeing right now is a distortion of truth.
Yes.
And that's the most dangerous thing.
You said it very nice, Robert. I know that you, just like me, you're also a man, that you're deeply religious, and somebody was asking me how God let these things happen. I think it's not in the hands of God, it's in our hands. God gave us our own will to handle things, and I think we're not handling things properly.
Yes, there's a lot of, look, we have a code to live by, and we have not lived by that code. We have not kept our bargain to the higher power.
Yeah.
You know, there's a great song by Domenico Modugno,
Sì, quale?
meraviglioso.
Oh, meraviglioso. It's a beautiful song.
È vero, credetemi è accaduto. Di notte su del ponte, guardando l'acqua scura, con la donata voglia di fare il tuffo giù.
Oh, beautiful.
Qualcuno alle mie spalle, forse un angelo, vestito da passante, mi porto via dicendomi così, meraviglioso.
Meraviglioso.
Ma come non ti accorgi di quanto... So we have to think of that today.
Yes, for this.
That's
Yeah,
the vibrant message for today.
yes, it is. It is. But hey, Robert, we as entertainer, we need to keep lifting up the spirits of everybody. You know, as they say, like in Pagliacci, we have to put the smile, even though sometimes our heart it's heavy. So let's put a smile on the face of everybody. So can you? Because I know you are. I met you at the Leone di San Marco.
Very good. That was a beautiful transition, and I think it's wonderful you did that.
I do my best, Robert, because I've been doing this, keeping smiling for 85 days, and in my family in Italy, any kind of trouble, was horrible. But you know, I'm
Hey,
like a Pagliaccio. I keep
the
smiling.
Italians have the best sense of humor, you have to realize. And I'm half Sicilian, so we have Pirandello-esque kind of humor, the absurd. So, you know, at the same time, we feel we have to have the lightness of life. That's why I say, meraviglioso.
You said it very right. I love that you started right away speaking Italian because many people, of course, they know you, they know your Italian heritage, but you're very proud of it. Can you tell us about Robert John Davi? You grew up in Astoria, Queens. Which kind of family? How was the life by then?
All right. I was born in Astoria, Queens. And then when I was 5 years old, we moved to Long Island, Dix Hill. And, but my family was all from Astoria and the Queens of Long Island. They came over in the early 1900s. My grandfather, Franco Davi, accent over the I, by the way. D-A-V-I with an accent.
Oh, really? Davi?
Davi, that's the name.
Okay.
And they made me an honorary citizen of Torretta a few years ago. I'll tell you that story in a second. It was the most emotional moment I could have ever imagined.
Yeah.
So Franco Davi came over from Sicily, and Maria Carollo, also from Torretta, came. They got married. My grandfather, father's father, fought in World War I, the U.S. infantry. He was critically wounded twice in Europe in theater, and went back twice. He got 2 Purple Hearts.
Oh, wow.
My mother's family, the Rullo family, sometimes they call it Rulai, R-U-L-L-O, because of Ellis Island, they changed the name.
Yeah.
But it's Rullo. Came from the Provenza di Avellino Cittadinusco.
Oh.
So sono io mezzo napolitano e mezzo siciliano.
Wow.
Ma anima e cuore in Italia. Ma when my parents growing up, my mother's father was took care of junk. He was very interested in junk, made a lot of money in that. He also was a bootlegger.
Oh.
His partners during Prohibition, his partners were Marshall Field and Joseph Kennedy. He knew these guys, and my mother was born in Southampton, Long Island. The family was a very patriotic family. My dad, Salvatore Davi, he enlisted in the U.S. Navy after World War after the Pearl Harbor. He enlisted in the Navy, and he was bombed. His ship was bombed. He was in the water for 3 days, and he was very patriotic. Loved America. They all loved America. They all said, speak the English. This is America. Assimilate, hard work. You can get whatever you want in this country. And with maintaining a deep love of our Italian roots.
It's beautiful.
So I grew up in a very religious, my mother was the head of confraternity, Christian Catholicism for Long Island. And I was very devout. When I was 16, I was winning awards for singing and acting and sports. And I had gotten sick as a kid.
Oh.
And hence, we had friends of ours, Joey Lamangino, who used to go to San Giovanni Rotondi in Foggia to meet with Padre Pio.
Yes.
And I was in the hospital dying at 16 years old.
Oh, wow.
And I had gone to some of the prayer meetings of Padre Pio. And I had asked it was a blind guy named Joey Lamangino. And I asked my mother, do you think Joey Lamangino and the De Rosa family, who were close to him, could ask them to have Padre Pio pray for me, which they did. They got a telegraph back, pray blessings, I'm no doctor, to Padre Pio, and then presented me with rosary beads in the hospital, blessed by Padre Pio. A week later, the doctor said to my mother, Mary, if you told me your son would have been in this shape, only a miracle. So I consider myself a spiritual child of Padre Pio. And continue that devotion today to him and as an intercession to God for us, because as you know, he had the stigmata. It's not a false idol. Some people say, we go directly to God and everything else. Yeah, sometimes you need an intervener.
It's true. So, I'm glad you shared that story. You shared it with me the first time we met each other, and that's a connection that I always remembered you for that, because I had the same situation 7 years ago. I was sick and I was saved. A doctor told me somebody saved you, somebody loved you, and was Padre Pio that I was always having with me in my pajama. I was in a hospital for a month, and so me and you were saved by Padre Pio.
Yes.
And God.
Yes.
So
yes,
me and you, we have to behave, Robert, because God is watching on us.
I'm a sinner sometimes, and I then beg forgiveness. But I think even with because we're imperfect human beings, and that's what has to keep us connected to the spiritual power.
It's true.
The ability to pray at every moment. I feel that everything is a constant state of prayer in some way.
Yes.
Even when I fall for a second and at my anger at rioting or at injustice or whatever it might be, you know, you fall into something for a second. But what centers you is your faith, and having that strong faith, and that's your alpha and omega. And if you have that, I think you can wade the storm that's around us in this life.
It's true. You said it very well. That's what I loved about you when I met you. I had a completely different idea in my mind, seeing you and knowing you only from the movies. And now that I know you also as a great singer, when did you said you discovered your voice as a little girl. What came first, music or acting?
I was doing concurrently in school, in 4th grade, I did my first play. George Washington slept here, and I played Sam, the black butler. Not in blackface, but with gray in my hair.
Oh, okay.
But I had to do a southern accent. Oh, Missy, don't ever say. I remember the lines. And I remember the teacher walking us out to the car after school from Half Hollow Hills Elementary School, Miss Alexander, and telling my parents you should encourage him in the arts. He's very talented. Cut several years later, I was always reading in the class. I loved language. And then I discovered my voice in 8th grade. I was an all-star football player. I went to Seton Hall High School. I started doing dramatic interpretation, winning a bunch of awards, and singing. And one of the nuns heard me sing in the locker room as she was walking by. And she knocked on the door, and when I was in the shower singing, because the night said, right? She knocked on the door and got another kid. We were after football practice. And she says, "Who's singing?" And he says, "Well, that's Robert Davi." He says, "Have him come here." Well, he's in the shower, sister. "Have him come here. Put a towel on." So I put a towel, and I went to the door like this, a little creepy thing. "Yes, sister. I want you to come to Glee Club tomorrow." And I said, "Sister, I'm too busy. Thank you very much." I was already in the drama club and playing football, varsity football. Anyway, she called my mother. "Your son has a beautiful voice." And my mother says, "Go ahead, try it. What do you have to lose?" Now, I would be singing all the Italian bel canto songs as a little kid. My grandmother sang at the San Carlo Opera in Naples.
Beautiful.
When she was a little girl. So I was, and on the old wind-up records, I would listen to Caruso, Galatorci, Tito Ruffo, all the Beniamino Gigli, all the great old-time singers that the purity of their sound, the bel canto of Italiano, canzoni italiani, the bel canto. And anyway, they got me an opera singer. I won awards, first place New York State. And I was acting at the same time. I went to Hofstra University under a drama scholarship. I was a baritone with the heart of a tenor, because in the opera, the tenors got all the girls, right? They sang all the beautiful romantic arias. So I was a lyric baritone at that time, at my age, as a young kid. But I had my tessitura was baritone, but I could hit a C or a B flat, a very trumpeting, you know, but not sustain that on the tessitura. So the più timbrato of my voice, because I stretched it, I was singing these Italian things, the operas, the tenor
opera
arias,
high, yeah.
and I didn't transpose them. And that then gave me a vocal strain. I wrote Tito Gobbi a letter. You know who Tito Gobbi is?
Yes, of course.
He was the greatest singing actor baritone.
Yeah.
And I wrote him a letter because I knew he gave his class at Villa Schifanoia in Firenze. And he wrote me back.
Wow.
He said, "I'll be at the Metropolitan Opera in, I think it was April." He says, "I'll be staying here. Call me." Gave me his number to reach him at the hotel he'd be at. I called. He invited me to the opera. He was singing Tosca with Franco Corelli, Renata Tebaldi.
Two of the greatest.
And you can imagine.
Yeah.
Seeing Corelli, Gobbi. Now, Gobbi comes out, and the first line of Scarpia is "Un tal decano in chiesa," right? All he said was "Un tal decano." You heard the strains of Scarpia, pam, pam, pam. And 4,000 people went on their feet for like 17 minutes cheering Tito Gobbi.
Wow.
So I met him after the performance. He said, "I want you to sing for me at the Ansonia Hotel." There was a conductor called Luigi Del Repice, who was training in New York. And I sang for Gobbi and his wife, who was the sister of Boris Christoph, the great Russian basso. And I had trouble because my voice had been strained.
Yeah.
But I sang, and all of a sudden, him and his wife, the voice opened for some reason. And he goes, "Che voce, che bella voce." And then he invited me to come to his class, his master class, and called up John Gutman, who was running the music department at Juilliard.
The Juilliard
And
School, yeah.
with a guy named Dan Farrow, who then helped heal my voice. But now I was acting, and I left the singing alone until several years ago when I did the Dukes, and I sing in that for the first time. It was in Italy, and everyone encouraged me to sing, and then I put the album together in 2011 and studied with the guy. I asked the head of Disney Music, Bob Cavallo, another Italian.
Yes.
He was the manager of Prince, Earth, Wind and Fire, Alanis Morissette, big music guy, genius. And he was running Disney Music. And I called him up. He was my friend. He had seen the Dukes. And he said, you should be singing. I said, who do I study with? He said, Gary Katona. And Gary Katona, if you look him up, he taught a lot of people. So I worked with him every day for 3 years. Every day worked with him. He has the old bel canto. He has his own technique.
Yeah, the
building.
basic of good singing, yeah.
Yeah, and voice building. So I worked with Gary. Then we did the album, which went to #6 Billboard Jazz. And then I started traveling the world. I was in Pescara, the Pescara Jazz Festival.
Oh, cool.
I also did the Italian version of The Voice because J-Ax is a friend of mine. He's a big fan of Goonies.
Of course. It's an iconic,
You know
yeah.
J-Ax?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I met him in Little Italy. I did a music video with J-Ax. He asked me to become in the music video. And then he had heard me sing and invited me to be the guest singer on the Italian version of The Voice when he was one of the judges. Ariana Grande was the week after me. And when I went on there, I said to everyone what I said earlier, that I was half Sicilian, half Napolitan. My heart and soul is in Italy. And the mayor of Sicily's phone in Coretta went off the hook. Davi e Torretesi. Davi e Torretesi. So now, my grandfather told me that the name had an accent over the I when I was a little boy, and my dad. That was it. I thought maybe, who knows? And that there was French in the family.
Okay, Davi.
Now, I'm doing the Pescara Jazz Festival. I went to Ischia, to Pascal Vicedomini.
Beautiful.
I sang there for him. We were there with Bocelli and many other great artists at the great festival that he puts on. And then I went from there to do the Pescara Jazz Festival. And then from there, Bry called me up and said, Coretta wants you to they want to make you an honorary citizen.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Now, you have to realize, I thought a little town in Sicily in the mountains, I didn't bring anybody with me.
No.
So I drive up to this town in the mountains, beautiful Sicily, through Palermo, in the mountains and the town square. And I arrive in the town square, and there were 3,000 people from Torretta, kids with banners and a band greeting me. And I cried like a little boy.
Beautiful.
It was the most emotional moment. Still chokes me up.
I can
The
see.
greeting, the greetings I received from the paese of my father. And
That's so beautiful.
he then gave me the family crest. And I went back to Sicily. I had to go back to Sicily to reclaim the accent over the I
Oh,
for Davi.
Davi. So from now on, I will call you Roberto John Davi. This is a beautiful story, Robert. I didn't know about it. You know, I'm born and raised in Italy, and I never realized there was nothing special about being Italian until when I moved here to the United. I say the story all the time in Italy until I moved here in 2016, and I met people like you telling this story, that you guys are so connected and so proud of your Italian heritage that you made me, an Italian born and raised citizen, proud of being an Italian. It's because of people and stories like you, Robert. This always touched my heart so deeply. I mean, it's so special. Thank you for sharing this. I didn't know. And thank you for loving your Italianity, the fact your Italian side, which I think, believe it or not, I know you love Frank Sinatra like I do as an artist, as a human being. Frank Sinatra belongs to the world, but everybody that has talent, some comedian made fun of me because they say that every time that I love something, I make it Italian, but it's not true. Italians, we have wrote so much, even in America, right? I mean, Robert Davi, you are Italian. How many actors like you are Italian? Directors, musicians, singers. Frank Sinatra, for instance, you work with him. For me, Frank Sinatra is like somebody who will never disappear. How was it to work with them? For you,
Well,
as a son of an Italian immigrants.
Yes. Well, as you said earlier, and I say it in my show, that for an Italian American, there are two figures, the Pope and Sinatra, but not necessarily in that order.
It's true.
And the thing is, the thing that we have to remember is just, and especially today, and why I wanted to sing in 2011, an artist can read the times. And I felt that America was falling apart. I felt in 2010, 28, I felt the division in America. Instead of, we have the first black president, and instead of it bringing us together, we've been pulled apart more. And it reminded me when Martin Luther King was at his funeral. And they echoed this funeral with George Floyd in a way. But when Martin Luther King died, he was pulled by two mules in a wooden box in a rickety cart. And behind him were a sea of people. And I thought to myself as a little boy, we're either going to pull it apart or we're going to pull it together. Now, Sinatra was an iconic figure in terms of the first big artist to come out against anti-Semitism and racial bigotry. He understood because the Italian immigrant understood. In 1906, the New York Times said the Italian was lower and dirtier than the Negro. In 1886, there were more lynchings of Italian Americans, Italian Sicilians, than anybody else. More than blacks, more than browns, more than this, more than that.
Yeah.
And the Italian never victimized themselves.
It's true.
And unlike today, what we're seeing is and we were in ghettos, we were in crime, we were doing stuff, but they wanted it. There was something, I think, that held us more together. And that's what should be taught today. Not this racial divide, which is, I think, done for globalism and something else. I'm sorry if you're, and I'm all for the police having training and not having brutality. I'm all for that. I'm all for black lives. All lives matter.
All life matters.
All right, and this is a complex issue, but it's been taken in a simplistic form to split us further apart.
It's true.
But when I see a statue of Christopher Columbus beheaded and torn down out of cities, which is happening now, they want to blame. Now, I spoke to a young kid on the line to going to the grocery store this morning.
Oh.
I says, "Isn't it amazing? We're online. They kept people online masked, separated 6 feet." I says, "But all the rioting and all the protesting. How come they're continuing this? Where's the farce? How come there wasn't demanded then?" So that, and I said, and I was angry because I just heard that Columbus's statue was the
Oh
face.
gosh, yeah.
And I said to her, I started to talk to them. And their indoctrination was beyond me. She actually said to me, Columbus was on his way to South America. You got it all wrong. I go, actually, he was on his way to Asia, to India, and China for spices because of Marco Polo.
Marco Polo, yeah, roots, yeah.
She goes, you're ignorant. So they're being taught in school. They're being taught in school. And I said, and plus, it wasn't Columbus that brought the slaves. It was the Spanish, it was the British. She goes, well, they're all white. So obviously, brown and black, and they want to talk about this white privilege. It's American privilege. Then don't come to the country. My family never had anything to do with slaves. Nothing to do with slaves. Italians were slaves. Muslims were slaves. Christians were slaves. Slaves, 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 slaves. And they keep playing this card, and I'm sorry. It's like hitting a sour note on the piano over and over again, and they're not changing it. And it's the Democratic parties that have kept the black and brown down. And once they realize that truth, then change will start to happen. But they won't.
It's true. You know, I never talk about politics, but one thing that I don't understand in 2020 for me, I don't see colors, I don't see race, I don't see... Unity should be the word, love, unity. And you know what, Robert, me and you, we have the power to do that with music.
Yes.
Everybody loves Frank Sinatra, the blacks, the whites, the old, the young.
Absolutely. That's why I wanted to, because I wanted people to understand the great American songbook brought us all together.
It is. And music will save us. When this COVID-19 is over, Robert, they're going to need us to do what we do even more than ever.
Yes, and we have to bring a message of unity.
It's true.
My friend, the great actor Isaiah Washington, he said, I'm not an effing crayon color. Stop calling me black.
It's true. It's
Stop
true.
calling them white. We're not effing crayon colors.
No. And we are creatures of God anyway, as far as we know.
Beings. That's the first aspect of division. And it's done on purpose. It's a cultural Marxist philosophy. And if you don't think so, you better do some research on it.
It's true. It's true. Education will be the way to go.
I'm not saying there's not systemic problems.
No.
There's not issues. I'm not saying that.
No.
And I'm not saying what happened. I'm not justifying what happened to George Floyd
No,
at all.
absolutely not.
But what I want to know, and I've seen continually, and you can see it online, I saw a young black boy, probably 17 years old, being beat to death by his fellow friends. I saw the same thing happen to a young girl where they were jumping on her. They were jumping on her. There were 19 people killed in Chicago, in the inner city. Where is the video from Don Lemon and CNN on that?
It's true.
Unless they address that, this issue will never be solved. They've got to go into the cities and they've got to give them opportunity, not continue to bring them down, because the Democratic Party has created more slaves.
Yes. I see the comments of people to our discussion, Robert. Everybody agree with us, so we are in good company here. I want to talk about something that I know it's very dear and close to your heart too. You mentioned the Dukes. You directed that clip. Shall I play a little clip of it? Because you directed, you wrote it. What did you do for the?
I wrote it. I wrote, produced it, and it was a project I had. I love Italian cinema.
Yeah.
Okay. And I love Fellini. I love De Sica. I love Mario Monacelli. I Sole Ignoti is a great film.
Oof.
This movie, The Dukes, to me was a tribute to Mario Monacelli and Fellini. I Sole Ignoti, I Vitelloni in some way. And I wanted to then create an American version of this. And that was my inspiration. Throughout the music, I got all of Paolo Conti playing throughout all the film. And I have a Nito Rotoes kind of orchestration. And I got the biggest thrill because Ettore Scola and Mario Monacelli and Claude Zidi awarded me Best First Time Director, Best Screenplay at Ezio Greggio's Monaco Film Festival.
Oh, cool.
And Piera de Tassis had me in the premiere section of the Rome Film Festival with Redford and Coppola and Sidney Lumet and many other big films.
That's awesome. Are you planning to direct also more, or you want to stick to singing it? Yeah?
Right now, the singing, but I will at some point hit the directing again. But right now, I want to continue more on the singing. I'm in the process of putting together another album.
Oh, cool.
So that, yeah. So that's because I had not done that in a while. Because I've been busy with film. I have a new TV series called Paper Empire that we're filming that Robert Gillings directed and wrote, produced by Michael Todrich Jr. and Bernard Salzman. And so anyway, so I'm doing that. I got a film that is very important for today called Mott Haven.
Oh, what it's about?
Mott Haven deals with gentrification. It's what they're talking about in the inner cities today. And it's an important film. It deals with plastics and gentrification.
Oh, cool.
In the Bronx. It's called Mott Haven. You can find it somewhere.
Is it in making? You film it already? Well, what is going on in Hollywood actually right now?
Hollywood's quiet right now.
Oh.
Yeah, they have not started filming it yet.
Because I saw that you have so many amazing things either in post-production, pre-production, announced. But when do you think Hollywood will pick up again to work and do something?
I think it's ready to. I hear that they're starting to do that now.
Okay.
With certain guidelines for SAG, you know. Then I did a film, Davi's Way, that Danny produced, and Mob Town with him, and got Black Jack coming out where I play an Irish priest.
Cool. Let me play a clip of the Duke, because you sent it to me before the interview, and people were saying, where is the clip of the Duke? Here is the clip of the Duke.
Listen, son, we don't do these things. Do you understand? You know who we are? Where we toured? I played cards backstage with more legends than you ever watched on TV. We had hit songs when you weren't allowed to cross the street by yourself. And you want to tell us how to sing, how to record this?
Hey, we all set, Danny?
All set, Dave.
All right, everyone. Have it nice and quiet.
When they were young, they were on top of the world.
One of the greatest groups of the 60s, the Dukes.
But now, the world is on top of them.
We have no calls.
Crimes. Dennis wants his money.
$4,000 to $5,000 short.
George, we don't have any money.
Trying the best I can to get jobs for you guys, and in this climate, it is not easy.
What does climate have to do with it? The weather out here is great.
We're not looking for jobs. We're looking for money.
35 pounds of gold.
It's just sitting there. I mean, how hard could it be? My man's got this guy. He's a master thief.
He told me that he could open up any safe around.
Any safe.
This is what I get off on.
We gotta bring Sinitsky. There's gonna be electricity there. We're gonna need him. We need to look out.
Wake up. He can't even walk.
He can sit in the car with a walkie-talkie.
Anybody else come in behind us?
No Danny, nobody.
No names, idiot.
Sorry, Danny.
I mean, this is a setup. Let them put me in a bag and bury me, because I can't even afford a box.
They're coming in. Hide. Jump in the safe.
I don't believe you just said that.
You knew he was a gangster, a common thief. You should have had no part of it.
How come you don't sing anymore?
Well, Daddy's time passed.
You got a gift that's only good when you give it away. You make people fall in love. You patch them up when they fight. Never forget who you are.
How many scores have you guys put down?
None.
Why do you want to start playing this game at your age?
It's a long story and a very bad idea.
That's awesome. I remember seeing the movie. Actually, I think I was at the premiere that day. I was living in New York City, and I came to see with Chess Palminteri, and I remember you guys did a presentation, and then you show us the whole movie, which is very, very... I love the movie, and I love the fact that there is music. But even in the Goonies, you were bad guys, but you were an opera singer. Is your idea always to put in your roles music because it's in your heart, or was Spielberg having that idea of you in the guy?
No, in Goonies, that was my idea. Dick Donner directed Goonies, and I knew I was playing the Fratelli, so right, Jake. And there was one line in that. Chris Columbus wrote the screenplay. One line in it that said about how can I do this with this Smithsonian piece of garbage. He was a counterfeiter. So that line said to me, this guy has an artistic sensibility, the Jake character, because he was frustrated with not being able to make great counterfeited bills. So I said, what if I make him an opera singer, frustrated opera singer, that the mother doesn't listen to and the brother doesn't listen to, and the only time is when he brings the food to the brother, and he's now got to, instead of sing for your supper, listen for your supper. So I said that to them. They said, show us. I did it. They loved it. They incorporated it.
I mean, when you were filming the movie, were you expecting the movie to be such a, I mean, it's 30 years ago you filmed it, and still people, unbelievable, and still is everybody loved the movie. I mean, it's like an iconic movie. Were you expecting that when you were making that movie?
It's funny. I was supposed to do, like you mentioned, people I've worked with. One of the greats I worked with is Sylvester Stallone with Expendables. I was supposed to do Rambo 2 with him when the call came in for me to do Goonies. And I wanted to do both because who heard of Goonies at that time? I thought, Goonies, what the hell is a Goonie? But it was Spielberg and Donner and this unknown writer, Chris Columbus, at the time. But Stallone was...
Hey.
And they couldn't work out the dates, so they released me from and they shouldn't have, from Rambo, because Sly got upset with that. And they then signed me the agent to do the Goonies. So, I remember Dick Donner saying, when we first did Goonies, he says, this is going to be a classic. He says, this will be remembered. This will be remembered like The Wizard of Oz. Now, we're starting the film. Who the hell knows? But, when I saw the pirate ship, which was astounding, you know, you never know where it goes. You never know where it goes. But it became this...
It has become a classic. And is it true that you're going to have Goonies #2?
Who knows? Only God knows, because not even the producers or Spielberg know.
Nobody knows. Because my question was, are you going to be singing there again? Because we love to see that, actually, like you are. You are a very, people were saying you're very refreshing because you're not afraid to be opinionated, but you always have a smile and a kindness about you, which makes you very, very likable. So people are enjoying very much this conversation. But I do love the singing part of you because, you know, I'm a singer and
yes.
You said that music is your soul, and that's what I feel. Music is magic for me. It makes me feel better, and we make people feel better. So.
Well, if you see in the Dukes, when the aunt says to him, Never forget who you are. It makes people fall in love. It brings them together. And that really resonated for me at that moment because I had neglected my singing for many, many years. And I envisioned my mom telling me this in a certain way. Get back to the music. Get back to the music. And the thing that forget what I was going to say. There was something else that was very important. I forget for a second. If I get it again, I'll tell you. But
you tell me, right? Which I always ask my guests, of course, if they've been to Italy, and you already answered my question. And a question I always ask, because on Saturday, I don't know if you watch his Giada Live, but I cook. I love to cook. How is your? Are you also magical in the kitchen? Do you cook yourself?
Yes, I cook for the kids and myself and the wife, and I like to create my own things. I'll have for each one of my children. I'll have this is pasta Ariana.
Oh.
All right. I'll go. This is Nick's lasagna, and I'll pick different ingredients, and I'll change stuff. I'll try different things. I like doing that. Like even my wife is from Estonia.
Okay.
So she's Estonian. Great, wonderful soul. And we have a baby, Gabriella Nicole. She's a year old. Who came to
God bless her.
She traveled the world with us under a year. So they were feeding her whatever.
Yeah.
And I said, please. So I made her pastina with a little tomato sauce and Parmesan.
Oh, che buona.
The baby ate this up. This is what Italian babies eat, okay?
True, pastina con pomodoro e parmigiano. Did you put some olive oil on top of it?
Yes, a little olive oil, just a touch, not
too much.
I'm eating more and more of after a year old. But the Italian culture, like you said before, the culture of Italy, the contribution of Italy to the world, and I mean all cultures have a wonderful,
yes.
I'm not denying any culture's thing, but why do people love Italy? Why do people go to Italy? Why do people, when you ask them, I don't care if they're from the Middle East or from wherever they are.
They love, yeah.
China or wherever. 88% will say Italy.
Yeah, Italy is almost in everybody's bucket list. And also Venice. I'm from Venice. Have you been to Venice, Robert?
Yes, Venice. Beautiful.
Have you been there?
Yes.
With all your wife or with your current wives?
No. I was there by myself, actually.
No, why? You know why I ask you? Because if you go with this one and you want to stay with her forever, in Venice we have like these traditions that if you want to be with the person, you go there and stay with that person forever. You have to kiss her under each and every bridge, and we have 475. So if you go there, keep kissing her.
I know.
Okay.
I know that myth, and it would take a while, right? You'd have to get the gondoliera.
It's going to be a lot of money and a lot of kisses. Hey, but
Did you see the movie Death in Venice?
Sorry?
Did you ever see the movie Death in Venice?
Yes.
By Visconti.
Visconti, yeah. Looking at it, yeah, it's kind of sad, though, no?
No, but a beautiful sadness.
I filmed some of these things for my PBS special in Venice, and that's when I realized, by the way, I was born and raised there. I never realized that Venice was special until I started to leave and go abroad, and people were like, "You're from Venice?" And then now I see the beauty of it. When you grow up somewhere, you're like, okay. It's like COVID-19. Hugging and see friends was normality, and now it feels like we can touch each other, we can see friends, and it's like sometimes we need to lose something to see the beauty of it, right?
Meraviglioso.
Yeah, meraviglioso, like you said, we go back to the beginning.
Il bene di una donna che ama solo te, right? La luce di un mattino, l'abbraccio di un amico, which we can't do anymore.
It's true.
Il viso di un bambino. Meraviglioso. So we lose these things, back to that. But as you said,
it's
the
true.
beauty of an embrace. And you can't hug someone that's in pain for fear of whatever right now.
Yeah, there are people in hospital and parents can go and can visit them. People died in Italy, thousands of them. There were no funeral. People were not able to see it. It's been a tragedy. But you know, David, I mean, we're almost at the end of the interview. I think the world is going to be a better place after this because we all have realized so much more about ourselves and the truth about our life. And now all these things is happening. Hopefully we will get through and as a better world and better people. I don't know. I hope. That's my hope.
You know, we can't just hope.
I know.
We have to enact. Io parlo bambini onesti e puri. Questo loro domani una chiave del mondo.
You're
La
so
visione
true.
è scuro, right?
Yeah.
Our way is lost. It's they who must lead us back on the course.
You're like a poet. That's you should put in the resume. Actor, director, singer, poet.
Poesia.
Poesia, sei un poeta, hai il cuore di un poeta.
Andrea Chenier.
You are such a joy to talk to you and to be around. You're not the tough villain and guy that we see. I mean, there are so many things that I could do 2 hours episode with you because I didn't ask you anything about Roberto Benigni, about being in James Bond.
Benigni was amazing. Roberto Benigni was amazing. We were in France for 3 months, then we went to Jordan, and he's just, he kept telling me, because I was married at the time, and my wife was in America, right? Because we were filming, she couldn't come. We had a young child, and he kept going cornuto, cornuto. Every time he saw
Which
me, cornuto.
doesn't mean I love you because I'm doing sign language. Cornuto is not the sign of I love you. It's completely different.
Oh no. But
So
he was teasing all the time. But he was great fun to work with.
I'll let you go in a second, but I have a question. You did this. I think it was a documentary. It's called the Davis Way, and it was made like a movie, right?
Yes, it's great.
Where can we see it again? Because I wasn't able to find anything about it. So where can people see it?
Well, I will let you know. How's that? I'll give you an update. It was on Amazon Prime. I think iTunes has it still.
Okay.
You could find it on iTunes. It was on Amazon Prime. But the contract went out. They have to re-up the contract.
Oh, okay.
And but it's a great. It went to the people in Australia. It was at the Melbourne Documentary Film Festival, which is rated the #1 documentary film festival in the world, and it was considered one of their top choices.
I read about it.
Very funny. It's very poignant, and it's honest. I didn't want to sugarcoat anything. As you can see, I'm not a sugarcoating kind of guy.
No, you're not a sugarcoated. Now I got to know you even better than the first time. I want to show beautiful pictures that I am very proud of that I have with you. Can you show a picture with me and Robert Davi? I have a collection of pictures with you, but that's my favorite one. This one we took it in Washington. It's not my favorite one. My mother also put it in a wall. Now it's another one. The one we are sitting at table. Do you remember the Leon? Look at this one. My mom loved these pictures. Yeah, so.
Yes.
You should know that in that pictures you are in my living room in Venice too. And that's you
great.
doing your speech. You captivated like you did today. Everybody talking about your heritage. Do you remember that day, Robert, with Sonny Grosso?
Yes, I do. When I got that award, absolutely.
You got an award.
It's May in January, right?
Yes, at the Leone di San Marco. Yeah.
Yes, remember that day. It was a great time, and yes, I remember.
It was
You
a great
sang.
day, and that's where I met you.
Yes, and you sang that day.
Did I?
Did you sing?
I probably did. I don't know. One day, hopefully, we can sing together. If you ever need an Italian partner, I am there.
All right, darling.
I love you so very much. So thank you, Robert. Everybody is giving compliments for you being honest, refreshing, and opinionated in the good way. So if you go later on my wall, you can read all the comments of people. Everybody loved you. For me, it was an honor. È stato un grande piacere, Robert. Sei una persona meravigliosa. And I always say, when a tough man can share a tear, sharing a memory, he has a good heart. And you surely do have one.
That's it.
God bless you, and I hope to see you soon somewhere in the world.
I hope so.
I send you a hug.
Un abbraccio.
Un abbraccio anche a te. Ciao Robert, grazie mille, grazie di cuore. Ciao. Buona giornata. Thank you so much. Robert Davi, right? A superstar is a superman, really, a superman. Maybe he also has superpower. For sure, I see that you guys are all appreciating the fact that he was really opinionated. I know that he can get very, very passionate about that, which is probably it's Italian spirit. You know, we Italian, when we get passionate about something, we really have to get it out. Otherwise, it's like we are going crazy and we are getting lost. And that's Robert. But he's with everything. That's why I think he goes in everything he approach. He does it with all hearts and soul: music, acting, directing. So thank you, Robert Davi, for being with us, and thank you guys for all your wonderful comments. We didn't do it in the beginning, June 10 today, the birthday and the event. So before we say goodbye, let's do the birthday and the event of the day, June 10, thanks to our friend Doug Hartline. Was Doug over there? I haven't seen. I see Cecilia East also giving it the applause. Yes, here we go. June 10 today in history. In 610, the first Dutch settlers arrived to colonize Manhattan Island. I'm sure JJ has a picture. Look at that. That's the Dutch flag. In 1610. And in 1652, John Hull opens the first mint in America in Boston, Massachusetts. 1652. Look at that. In 1752, Benjamin Franklin tests the lighting conductor, which is a night flight experiment. Oh, whoa. And he was trying to make a connection between lighting and electricity. And Doug is saying he was lucky that he just picked up an electrical charge from the storm. He could have been struck by lightning and likely he would have been killed. So we're lucky that it didn't happen. In 1793, today, first public zoo opens in Paris, France. Jardin des Plantes, that's the name, and there's a picture of the time. Look at that. They were even making paintings of the day. Well, in 1972, recent year, Elvis Presley, our king of Vegas, records a live album at Madison Square Garden. Look at him, the king, handsome as ever. And today, in 1974, Feel Like Making Love single is released by Roberta Flack, one of my favorites, and become Billboard Song of the Year in 1974. As you know, I've never sang Feeling Like Making Love, but the first time ever I saw your face, that's one of my favorite songs on my PBS special. And always at my concert. Birthday of the day, in 1822, John Jacob Astor III was born in New York, New York. He was the wealthiest man in the United States at the time and was also a philanthropist. To these days, you can visit museums, libraries, hospitals, and historical sites all over New York City, which are there because of him. Wow. One of his homes was torn down because it became the site of the Empire State Building. And of course, you can go visit, Doug is saying, his luxury mansion in Newport, Rhode Island, which is incredible, being there, and it's amazing. And Doug is also saying his son was named Waldorf Astor. Ring a bell? We know where you're going, Doug. We will be talking about it. And in 1895, Hartle McDaniel, the first African-American actress to win an Oscar for her role in Gone with the Wind, is born in Wichita, Kansas. I love that movie. And in 1901, Friedrich Loh, American composer for plays like Camelot and My Fair Lady, was born in Berlin, Germany. And Doug, always makes me smile. He said, I traveled to Inverary Castle in Scotland to see the piano and the place where he composed the music of My Fair Lady. While I was there, I brought Giada music with me. So there's Doug with my CD from Venice with Love near the piano where My Fair Lady was composed, in that room. Thank you, Doug. That's magical. In 1921, Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, born Prince Philip of Greece and Denmark, I've learned, was born today in Monvrepos of the Greek island of Corfu and turns today 99 years young. Look at him there with Elizabeth. Happy birthday to Prince Philip. And good genes, by the way. And in 1922, the amazing singer and actress Judy Garland, one of our favorites, real name was Frances Ethel Gum, was born in Grand Rapids, Minnesota. Wow. Of course, Over the Rainbow is one of my favorite songs that I will be singing one of these days for you. I know I sang it and I love the song. And today in 1935, Elio Fiorucci, Italian fashion designer, was born in Milan. His brand was taken to New York, where he becomes part of the disco culture. The opening party was held at Studio 54, still existing in New York now, 54 Below is called. And he chartered a jumbo jet to fly his Italian guests. Like his Milan store, his stores offered espresso coffee, music from a residence DJ, and become known as a daytime Studio 54 because of the disco crowd that gathered there. As a teenager, I had a lot of Fiorucci clothes. He was very cool, still is, by the way. And in 1965, last birthday of the day, today, June 10, Elizabeth Harley, English actress and model, was born in, oh, this is a funny name, Basingstoke, England. Look at her. She used to be the model for Estee Lauder, or one of the brand. And Doug is saying, she used to be the model for Estee Lauder. One of the brands I think Giada should be a model for, because I always thought that they choose radiant models, and Giada, which is me, is radiant just like Elizabeth. Okay, and of course he also said Lancome. Thank you, Doug. I should make you my agent, and maybe you should try and go out and work those deals for me. Why not? Thank you, Doug, for the birthday and events of the day. Today, my guest was amazing. I know you guys loved him. I mean, it was nice for me to reconnect and have a chat with Robert Davi. We heard today is Robert John Davi. There is an accent on the E. And you saw how proud he was to be Italian. And you know me, I am here in Las Vegas, but of course I was born and raised in Venice, Italy, the city with the streets of water. And I always love when I find people that love my country and they are still so connected with their heritage. So thank you, Robert Davi. I want to say an hello and thank you all the people that are watching also today on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. Of course, yesterday the tickets went on sale for my concert with Daniel Emmett on June 26th at the Space here in Las Vegas. Many of you have already bought tickets. I know Doug did it. Many, I don't remember. I remember Doug because we had a discussion. Doug bought, there are two concerts, one at noon and one at 6. And Doug said, I wanted to purchase both tickets and I couldn't do it. He said, so I bought one. I don't even know if it's the 6 p.m. or if it's the noon. So I said to Doug, go back and purchase the other one because you cannot buy two tickets on the same profile. So no problem. You go back and you buy the other one. And I know I received so many messages from some of you. You already bought 2 tickets. Guys, you're awesome. Daniel and I are very excited about this thing. It's going to be, you know, the first COVID-19, after COVID-19 concert. We will be going to the Space with 3 musicians, and we're going to be directed and having on piano Jerry Williams. So it's going to be amazing. Jerry Williams, of course, we know him as Mary and Donny Osmond, musical director, but he's much more than that. He's fun, he's very talented. We are preparing some of your favorite songs will be there, and of course many new ones. And of course it's going to be nice to share the stage with somebody that I can actually see next to me and talk to, Daniel Emmett. I see actually if I can have him appear in one of these days for a quick hello. So I know you guys have been willing to see Daniel too, but anyway, you're gonna see us together June the 26th. I've been told as of now, will not be possible to have people join us in the theater. First there was the option that maybe we could have like 50 people in the 300 sitting rooms, but as of now, for the rules of Las Vegas that has reopened, but still this kind of for concert is not possible for people to gather together, unfortunately, unless something happen. I would say purchase your ticket. If something happen, I will let you know and we figure it out way to convert your tickets from that one to a real one with us in the stage. We will love that, but as of now it's not in our hands and we can do nothing about it. Did I forget to say something? Yes, I forgot to say that I want to thank all the people that have been supporting my live streaming for all these days, 3 months, 84 days. Each and every one of you that are there writing message, Richard, Ronnie, I see some, Diane, of course, with the sign language. I forgot to say that today my guest was an actor. This is the sign language for actor. You remember, I am a singer. At Saturday, I am a chef. And my guest today was an actor. I like this. He's an actor. It's like acting person, Robert Davi. So I want to thank all of you that have sent donations. I mean, the names are, the list is so long, but I got one also this morning from Denise Bizzoli Grippentag, And I want to thank Denise. I spoke with her a few days ago. We saw each other on FaceTime, which was thanks to Diane Fiorentino. It was lovely to see her. So thank you, Denise, for your support. And I see also Paul Spano. Great episode. Davi, we call it Davi, was very interesting and entertaining. Thank you, Paul Spano. Paul Spano, by the way, is a dear friend of mine in Long Island, where also Robert Davi grew up. And he's been a great supporter through the years of my music with monetary support. He has supported many of my concerts, many of my events. So, and I want to thank you. And when we became also dear friends, Paul Spano is just like a joy to be around him and all these famous. So thank you, Paul, for everything you have been doing for me. And thank you for tuning in today to watch my Giada Live. 84 days, Paul. 84 days. It's been a joy. And we'll keep doing it until, I don't know, until something. For sure, I will be doing until June 25th. Is going to be my 100th episode 100. And of course, the 26th is going to be a big celebration with the concert. And then we'll see what is going to happen. But I'm always going to be with you because you guys are my circle of love. And I do love you very much. Friends and family, and that's the poster of the concert close to you, June 26th, live streaming, so you can watch from wherever you are in the world, Australia, Italy, France, England, Greece, Poland, Ireland, wherever you guys are, you can be with us, which is very special actually. You know, normally not everybody can travel the world to see a concert, and this one, you're going to put the TV on and you're going to see us. This was a joy to be with you guys today. I want to thank each and every one of you for being my circle of love, friends and family. I love you all. This is Giada, and my name you spell it like this, G-I-D-A, and JJ behind the camera. We love you dearly, and we are going to be seeing you tomorrow, same time, same place, for another fun episode of Giada Life. Ci vediamo domani. Grazie a tutti, vi voglio bene. Ciao.
Dankeschön, dear old Dankeschön. Thank you for seeing me again. Though I'm here in my solitude, I know you are there, and in my heart I smile again. And so I sing here in my solitude, waiting to see you, same time, same place, and I can't wait to say again, Dankeschön, 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 dear old Auf Wiedersehen. See you tomorrow. A domani.